PhD scholar from the Department of Commerce, Osmania University, Hyderabad. On behalf of Indian Research Scholars Association, I welcome you all on today's lecture on Imbibing Research Culture from International Universities, organized by Indian Research Scholars Association, South Zone. Now I call upon Dr. Vikash for the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sonali ma'am. Actually, I will not take more time. So first of all, I would like to thanks to Professor K.S. Chandrasekar sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Cluster University, Jammu, and I would like to also welcome to Professor B.K. Jain Saab, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Teerthanker Mahaveer University, and thank you, Chandrasekar sir, for accepting our request and for selecting a very excellent topic for the young scholars. And I can see on the screen Professor Raj Yadav, madam. I think madam is a faculty member in Center for Central Asian and Russian Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU. And I would like to welcome also to Professor to Dr. Shubhangi Rajabhau Amble, the coordinator of the South Wing Zone of the Indian Research Scholars Association, and Dr. Sonali Yadav madam is here, Professor Asa Raj Purohit is here, and other members of the different zones and faculty members who have joined across the country. So on behalf of me and on behalf of the Indian Research Scholars Association, I would like to welcome to all, and I would like to invite to Sonali Yadavji for the further proceeding. Over to you, Sonali madam.
So we have amongst us and today's speaker, Senior Professor K.S. Chandrasekar sir. Sir has more than 3 decades. Let me introduce sir to the audience. Senior Professor K.S. Chandrasekar sir has more than 3 decades of teaching, research and consultancy experience, who was also the chairman of Board of Studies in Management. He holds a bachelor's in pharmacy honors from BITS Pilani MBA and MBA with distinction from BS MED Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore. He has done his PhD in management from Alagappa University, Karaikudi. He has also completed 1 year CPET from Indian School of Business, which is at Hyderabad. Sir has contributed more than rupees 152.75 CR through funding from Government of Kerala, DST, UGC, AICTE, and so on. Sir has also held the post of Vice Chairman of Center for Management Development, Government of Kerala for 3 years. Not just this, he has till date guided 65 scholars for their PhD. Sir has won 16 international and national awards so far. He has published 10 leading management books and authored 215 scholarly articles indexed in Scopus Web of Science and UGC Care Listed. So with this brief introduction of Senior Professor K.S. Chandrasekar sir, I now invite sir to carry on with this session. Thank you, sir.
I think okay. I will. Sorry, Honorable Vice Chancellor sir. I think before the Honorable K.S. Chandrasekar sir, Professor Jain Saab will deliver the opening remark, and after that, this lecture, Professor Jain Saab will give his presidential remark. So I would like to request to Sonali Yadavji, please invite to Jain sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Teerthanker Mahaveer University. So sir will deliver the opening remark.
Apologies for that, sir. I now wholeheartedly welcome on behalf of Indian Research Scholars Association South Wing, our professor, our Vice Chancellor from Teerthanker Mahaveer University, Professor V.K. Jain, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me for such a wonderful program, which is being organized by Indian Research Scholars Association. And the topic is really very, very important in the today's scenario, the imbibing research culture from international universities. In fact, if we talk about research culture now in this 21st century, and especially in the competitive era when so many foreign universities are coming to India, and almost more than 20 universities have already come, and they have established their centers in various cities of the country like Mumbai, Bengaluru, Delhi. And following the culture of the research from foreign university, it may not be true in the sense because India has already been doing a good research. And if you see the top institutions, including IITs, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, NITs and other universities, they are already doing good research. Now the point here is with the implementation of NEP 2020, wherein the government of India has mandated that every student of undergraduate program having taken admission in either honors or a research program should mandatorily be involved into doing research. Similarly, other councils like All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, Pharmacy Council of India, they have also focused on involving students in research. So if we are involving students in research, then what happens that it creates a very good culture of research, and students right from their graduation, they are involved into it. When they enter into the post-graduation, they are already exposed to various kinds of research scenarios, various kinds of research tools. And accordingly, some of the good research projects can be converted into good patents or you can say good research papers. In which the faculty member can also be the part of, that publication. Recently, at our university, what we have done, we have tried to scan all the research projects done by the undergraduate students, and after the good scrutiny at different levels, we are able to file almost 300 patents of our students. So that kind of culture needs to be built because that will act as a feeder for the research culture. This is one, that is the internal research environment creation within the system. Now coming to collaborations with the international universities, definitely there are various schemes of the government wherein there are schemes which are jointly executed by the government of different countries and India, wherein our internal faculty members can, write joint research proposals and can carry out the joint research activities with the foreign professors. Even the exchange of a student can be done in foreign universities, and students of other foreign university can also come to India, and they can also participate in joint research activities. So that the topic taken by the association is very relevant in today's context. And I would like to congratulate the team members of Research Association for taking up this session. And I would like to congratulate Professor Chandrasekar ji, a good friend of mine, for speaking on this important topic, and which is relevant for everybody, because if we are not doing research, it means we are not contributing towards the knowledge creation. We would not be contributing towards the patents or copyrights, and that will not lead to a good research. And so finally it would be affecting the entrepreneurship eco-culture. So that research is the prime, and it has to be done at every level, whether it is a UG student or a PG student or a faculty, or it is a joint research between industry and the institution, or industry and foreign university or the Indian university. So at all levels, a good level of coordination and cooperation is required in order to have a good research ecosystem. So our Professor Chandrasekar would be speaking in detail on various aspects of international level research collaborations and cooperations. So it's over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And first of all, I am obliged to Professor VK Jain, who has consented to be presiding over this particular presentation in spite of his very busy schedule. So thank you very much, sir. I am very happy to associate with IRSA, specifically with Mr. Vikash Kumar, who is a good friend of mine, who has been continuing to contribute and participate in the research activities across the country, and seeing that more developments have to happen. Like what Professor VK Jain sir said, we need to create the culture, and that culture can only take us to the next level. And thank you, Shubhangi, and thank you, Sonali, as well as Dr. Raj Yadav for participating in this meeting. And let me go straight to the presentation, because I have a big presentation. I've tried to limit it as much possible time. Acha, can you see this presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good, very good, very good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. This is our university. This is where we do a lot of activities in terms of research, in terms of classes, programs, extension activities. And we have been doing a lot of activity for the past 4 or 5 years. And this is getting recognized nationally. Look at nationally, internationally. My topic is primarily internationalization of research. There are about 146 countries that data was collected in terms of how many people are actually getting into higher education. In 2024, it was said that 269 million people have participating in the global higher education. And the number of students going abroad has actually tripled over the past 2 decades, from 2.1 million to nearly 7.3 million. And that is the reason why, as what Professor VK Jain said, the government has decided to arrest the same by inviting the foreign universities to India and making our people study in India, whereby we will be able to save a lot of foreign exchange. Now, there will be about 380 million higher education students by 2030. India and China will be the 2 biggest countries seeking higher education. Just imagine 20% growth happening in India. That is the reason why we need to bring in the international players into our fold. And at the same time, there is an increase in the role of household, private, corporate sector in higher education. And of late, we have seen how online and for-profit private higher education has actually taken off. Look at the number of universities as by the Beyond News. If you go back, we see that after USA, India has the highest number. Even though officially we have about 1,600 as mentioned by UGC. But if you look at the overall picture, including the autonomous status of institutions, even yesterday there were a number of deemed universities which was proposed and they have been approved by UGC. The number is only increasing. So we are literally growing as such. So in order to learn higher education, you need to first come to the place where actually education took off. That is in European Union. And European Union is the one place where a lot of attraction towards higher education take place. And there are about 6.4 million students internationally mobile. It is increasing at 32% growth. These are the number of international students. If you look at highest number, you look at here, you will find USA being number 1, then UK, Australia, Canada, France, Germany. So look here in Europe, you have UK, France, Germany coming in along with Turkey, which is part of it. This is the number which is increasing across. Now, this is where the whole thing happens. So 1 million Chinese students study abroad, and which is 2 times more than the Indian students. Only thing is that the Indian students going abroad settle in those countries, whereas Chinese students going abroad come back to China. That's the difference. First, we'll go into France. Let us look at the France as a country in terms of higher education and in terms of research. 49.5 billion euros are spent on research, which is absolutely 2.22% of the GDP spent on research. That is higher education research. And the number of people are involved in that. There are about 430,000 people who are directly involved in research in France, and they are working in various areas. And there are about 267,000 research directors, professors, and they are, in fact, 26% of them are women. 40% of them work in the public sector, and 60% in the private sector. So published in some of the best international scientific journals. And remember, they have the 4th highest index in terms of impact in the world. So it is done in various number of institutions. Primarily, they focus in terms of National Center for Scientific Research, Agricultural Research, Health and Medical Research. This is where the maximum research output comes in. They have set up an institution called CNRS, which is actually doing a lot of research publications. Many Nobel Prize winners have come because of this. Whether you take a 2019, 18, 16, a number of people, 65 Nobel Prize have been awarded to French people, and which means France ranks 4th among all countries. And 41% of these enrolled in French doctoral scholars are foreigners, and 54% they have French scientific publication, which is because of the international collaboration they have. Now, so much is being done by CNRS there. In fact, they do not have any doctoral program. The first year you have to choose, refine the thesis subject, and one must therefore be able to find a thesis topic and the thesis supervisor before one can enroll, and then the doctoral school will accept them. Look at one university there, Paris University, University of Paris. 17,000 students, of which 2/3 of them are enrolled in master's and PhD program. 2,900 researchers are there. There are about 140 laboratories and 20% international students, number of partnerships. And in fact, this is the top French university as far the Times Higher Education 24, 23, 24, 25, 26. And 50 startups created every year, 70 patents obtained every year, and 3,000 industrial partners are there. And they have 28 Nobel Prizes in this university alone. Then from France, France is where the education actually started. From France, you go to England. Now in England, this is the highest degree. Substantial research project, often researching up to reaching 1 lakh words. The thesis is written in 1 lakh words. Then they have to defend in the oral examination. So it is happening across. 80% is classified as world leading, internationally excellent. Many universities are helping to understand and take advantage of new technologies like artificial intelligence. Now, research excellence framework, which was constituted by UK, 84% of the UK University Act is found to be world leading and internationally excellent. So measures of academic impact of publication, in fact at G7 they are ranked first. UK is behind China and the USA in terms of publication. What the UK did to us, they created a university enterprise zone where they provide space for startups, collaborative research project, university partnership with the employers, creating jobs. So enterprise zones are the one which is actually developing. In fact, we in Cluster University, recently we've been provided with about 495 canals in about 40 kilometers radius. What we have now done is we are creating Cluster University Enterprise Zone, where we will be launching School of Engineering Technology, and also we will be launching the industry partnerships there. The industry will be allowed to set up shop in the campus, and where we are trying to work out with EV manufacturing, we are trying to work with semiconductor companies, we are trying to work with artificial intelligence based companies, thereby boosting research as well as employability. Now, these are the things which they have already done in research hubs. And look at Oxford University. They are ranked first in your Times of Education. 24,000 students at Oxford and about 12,000 in postgraduates. 250 postgraduate programs are offered by Oxford. And they make about 50% yearly, the international students. More than 160 countries and various territories. And they have a largest volume of world-leading research in UK. And that includes colleges, and they have what is called Oxford University Press, which is the largest employer, and around 33,700 jobs in the country, in that specific county, Oxfordshire County. And more than 2.3 billion is being pumped into the regional economy. Let's just see 55 Nobel Prize winners from Oxford. 28 British Prime Ministers, 160 Olympic medals. One single university in UK is having more medals than India put together. One of the university there in UK is called Loughborough University. What they have done is they have undertaken research in social sciences, where they have undertaken study with respect to living wages, and they created and they ensured that this is adopted across UK. Nottingham University, they have used storytelling to transform how eating disorders in men and boys are understood. So medical practitioners, they are being helpful to reflect on the engagement with the males who are suffering from eating disorders or obesity. Falmouth University came out with a program called Launchpad, and they did it in Cornwall, where they used their research and innovation, and they worked along with industry to create high growth companies that are based in the country. Now, number of projects have come into this particular university because of that. West of Scotland, they have adopted studies across world. One is smart farming adoption in Southeast Asia, and then they come out of the police Scotland's rescue drones, and that has been implemented across that particular places. Coventry University is one of the biggest universities in UK, with which we have a MOU. This university has created research centers. Look at the research centers. If I go on to each of them, it will take a lot of time. I'm not touching it. They have identified what are the areas where they need to work on. They went with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and they also worked with what is needed, like agroecology, water resilience, arts, memory, communities, built and natural environment, business and society, dance systems, data science, financial corporate integrity, fluid and complex systems, transport, global learning, intelligent healthcare, post-digital cultures, sports, exercise, life sciences, trust, peace, and social relations. Look at this company, micro-cap hydrogen fuel cells, which were developed by this particular university, and this was done in such with Cabalco, where they created a hydrogen-based car. Another research they did was with respect to Inocardia, human cell-based assay for assessment of cardiovascular liability. So this was co-founded, and there was a big volume which is involved, and they have formed a company called Coventry University Inocardia Limited. And this is what Autonomous Cars, Center for Mobility and Transport. They are working on 7 million government-backed project. Now they are actually trying to reduce traffic congestion, provide vehicle entertainment safety. From there we move to Germany, because France is first, then England, then now we go to Germany. Yale University Munich is the one which is supposed to be the biggest of them all. It was founded back in 1472. 53,000 students are enrolled. 787 professors are exclusively meant for research. A lot of funding comes there. They have 208 patents and 14 Nobel winners. Then we talk about USA. See, they have a clear education policy. And one of the University of Texas, which is a public university. There are US has both public as well as private universities. Texas University is a public university which is there in Dallas and also in Austin. And 8 professors and alumni have won Nobel Prize there. 3,000 faculty are in the departments. Students from 124 countries go to Harvard, which is the best private university in the world. Oldest institution, 1636. But see the number, they have restricted the number of faculty. If one has to gain Harvard professorship, you have to work very hard. So 2,400 faculty members, 22,000 students on campus, 48 Nobel laureates, 32 heads of state, and 48 Pulitzer Prize winners. We go to Russia from there. Russia has a different education levels. But if you look at the NEP, our NEP, and look at the Russian, it is almost similar. So in the higher education system, there are public federal universities, core public regional universities, branches, other public universities, and private universities. Roughly about 1,000 universities are there in Russia now. So these are the two options: federal university, national research university. They have university, they have academy, they have institute. One of the best universities in Russia is called Lomonosov Moscow State University. It was established in 1755. It is a classical research university, 5,000 academic staff and 4,500 researchers, 40,000 students, including 5,000 international students. Every day, you can understand, 10,000 school children attend various programs in the university. And there are 11 Nobel Prize winners, 6 field marshals, and 4 museums, 15 research institutes, specifically catering to areas of local as well as national importance. 2 botanical gardens and science park, 9 million volumes. That takes us to China, which is literally doing extremely well in higher education research. In fact, you have to learn the history of Chinese higher education. It has transformed its research economy over the past 4 decades. It has grown by 400 folds. China now outpaces major economies in terms of publication of academic research, articles, reviews in journals, which are indexed in Web of Science, including both US and EU. And China now publishes greater share of world's papers, specifically in engineering technology. Their shift in research quality was seen when the world's most highly cited researchers were found to be based out of China. From 2018, when they had 312, it actually gone to 579 in 2022, doubling the presence. Whether the Chinese professors in US, Europe, or in China, these Chinese professors have actually contributed a lot. Some of the best thing areas are chemistry, engineering, and material science. And the Chinese Academy of Sciences is one of the best in terms of research. Then we have the Tsinghua University and the University of Hong Kong. So China is home to 14 institutions hosting 20 or more of world's most highly cited researchers. Now they are getting into that. They are actually co-authoring with the US professors in areas like automation control, imaging, ceramic technology, nanoscience, and telecommunications. Solar cells, fuel cells, microabsorption, electromagnetic radiation, they are having core papers. Having said about Tsinghua University, we should know about Tsinghua University. See, this is what you can see as the layout of this Tsinghua University and the elevation. These are the number of schools and departments. And about 50,000 students are studying in this university. Postdoctoral researchers are 2,600. What they do is driving industry-university research collaboration through projects. OLED production, alkaline soil to desulfurization of coal, big press machine, emergency aid system for production safety and environmental pollution control. They have done enough of projects. They have done setting up of scientific technological collaboration. Singhua has endeavored to set up several R&D industrial bases. So this is a key, and they have done it through number of key regions and partner cities in China. What they have done: Alliance for International Science Technology, joint research centers, joint research projects, Center of Knowledge Interchange with overseas project, commissioned R&D, technology transfer. There are 149 key research institutes in this university alone, and about 13 key state laboratories. So the funding has been clear, and they have been getting a lot of funding from the government, and their investment is much higher than 4 times that of India. And American R&D, they are closing in on. Look at the entrepreneurial culture. They are very clear. Either you patent, you come with a product patent, you just get into that facility, start moving forward. They have done everything in terms of entrepreneurship, from restaurant to real estate, plastic sandal makers to semiconductor manufacturing. Now, countries with Chinese-based economies have very large capital surplus. Taiwan is having, in fact, Singapore is having, and Macau is having. And Beijing Stone Group is considered as China's IBM, and offers how China have actually built up businesses there. Acer from Taiwan, Pico from Singapore have successfully blended the old with the new. I don't know how many of you have heard of this brand called Konka, which is supposed to be the best from China. Jack Ma is one example of the entrepreneurial trait which they have brought out. And he has a policy of helping young people, helping small guys, because the small guys will become big. So let us start contributing to them. The number of insights are there. From China, we move to Japan. Japan is a developed country, and higher education is for 12 years of education. And they have 3 different university styles. They have roughly about 900 universities in Japan. And elementary school 6 years, 3 years, senior high school, and university one has to spend 4 years. National 90, public 100, and private 600. One university where I had an opportunity to be involved was with the Waseda University. Waseda is one of the top universities in Japan, which is a private university. This was established in 1882. There are 50,000 people across Japan. They have 400 MOUs, which is alive. They have Nobel laureates. Inside the university, there is a metro station that takes you around the entire university. This is how you can see that data which shows what are the success of Waseda, because they have been able to create Japanese yen 10.6 billion in terms of research funding from various sources. See here, they have created various things like clusters they have created, and through clusters they are promoting research. From Japan, we move to South Korea. And look at South Korea. Doctoral degree, how everybody can enter in is very clear. But without CSAT, one cannot enter the junior college or university. Now, if you look at 203 universities in South Korea, look at the area of South Korea. It's about 93,000 square kilometer. Whereas if you take Tamil Nadu, it's 1,30,000 square kilometer. But in Tamil Nadu has only 68 universities, whereas South Korea has 203 universities. And they have 35 universities in the Times Higher Education. And Seoul National University is ranked 1. This is how you can see Seoul National University.
Yes.
Now see, 36th in the world. It was founded in 1946. Highest scores in South Korea. And a lot of people have come out from this particular thing. 289 universities, they have signed MOU. About 41 subjects they have. Top 20 for chemistry, mechanical, pharmacy, sports-related subjects. Look at the library they have created. Easy movability and the way the library is done. 24/7 the library is on. And so people can come and do research-related activities. Now this is what happens in top 10 ranking in terms of innovation. South Korea is leading. That takes us very close to our country, Sri Lanka. And I had an opportunity to be in most of the universities in Sri Lanka. Now they have grown from what it was. They have the similar UGC pattern they have, but they follow what is called a quota system. One university where I visited is Colombo, University of Colombo. It is a very big university. It has, including medicine, number of programs which are multidisciplinary in nature. They undertake research in various areas, including indigenous medicine, agrotechnology, molecular biology, library, medicine, and HR. 27,753 students are there. It is ranked number 1 in Sri Lanka and 801 in Times Higher Education. This is how it is ranked. One of the institutions where I've been part, where I used to handle classes, personally going there handling classes for the research as well as for the master degree programs, is Sri Lankan Institute of Information Technology. This university, this institution is affiliated with James Cook University of Australia, and they award degrees through that. So they admit students for research for James Cook University, and the research facilities being offered by these people. Finally, we come to India. IIT is a leader, IISc is a leader in science. Look at IISc, 525 faculty members. Look at other international universities, what is the faculty strength and what is the faculty strength we have. Look at the number, which is less. See, India has 550 million people below the age of 25. 32% of the 1.1 billion people is between age group of 0 to 14. One thing I'll say, I am not critical, but I am saying what it is. Indian government, since probably 2014, has sidestepped universities. And they focus more on IIT, IIM. Even after NDA came, NDA has actually given more focus on IIT, IIMs also. Vast majority of specialized technology-oriented institutions focus on technology and engineering. They are diverse from social, behavioral sciences and humanities. This actually raises a question of the usefulness for the research output. Now, decoupling of technology, engineering, science, social science is not unique, but how we are going to create world-class universities need to be seen. I'll give you one example. Recently, Nature Index came with their ranking of Indian universities. And if you look at clearly, Indian Institute of Science ranked first. Then you look at other universities. In Jammu Kashmir, Jammu University, Kashmir University were ranked 1 and 2. And my university was ranked number 3. And my university had 253rd rank as compared to 818 universities which were ranked of the 3,500 universities, what we are trying to say, which included the colleges. So are we, now what I'm trying to say, look at IIT Jammu, IIM Jammu, other IIT Jammu, Hyderabad and other institutions. Now, I'm not blaming any of them, that technology-based institutions are not able to actually bring in the ranking what is needed as compared to the multidisciplinary universities. Now, India has created more than 17 central universities, 14 IIMs and 15 IITs, but 35% fewer faculty members. Look at ARW ranking. Now, look at the criteria and decide where are we? Are we actually supporting this? Now, alumni of an institution winning Nobel Prize field medals, 10% weightage. Staff of an institution, 20%. Top 200 highly cited research and 21 broad subject categories, probably we can enter in there. Nature and science, how many of us are having papers published? SCI, SSCI, we are getting 20%. Academic performance, 10%. Literally speaking, of the 100%, we are eligible only for 50%. Of the 50%, only 30% is possible for us to move ahead. Are we prepared? That's a question. QS ranking, if you look at, focuses on research quality, teaching quality, international outlook, graduate employability. Now, how many of our universities are able to attract international staff? Faculty-student ratio has been high in many universities and institutions. Citations. Citations we are now working on. India is working hard. But citation per faculty is not happening. Now, look at the QS ranking, but over a period of time, we have been able to work very hard. That's what I said earlier. 54 Indian universities ranked globally. And India is now 4th most represented country after US, UK, and China. IIT Delhi has climbed to 123rd globally. Citations, academic reputation, employer reputation, they are able to. Chicago comes with their ranking. See, our best university is only having 843rd world ranking. And that is not IIT, that is not IIM, it is VIT Vellore. Look at in this 10 best institutions ranked in 2026. Only IIT, IISc, Kharagpur, 3 institutions of IIT, IISc, 1 IIIT Hyderabad is there. Rest of all universities, AIMS Delhi, Manipal, SRM, they are doing very well. But the number, look at the world ranking, we are very much lower. These are the criteria which the Chicago has. In that, one of the major thing is second part, retracted output. How many of the articles have been retracted? Now it is very clear. If there is a person who is saying that an article is there, claiming credit, and it is retracted, there are penalty for that. NIRF recently held a meeting. There they said clearly, retracted articles will have a penalty. Clear. Discounted journal output, hyper-authored. You have one article published. If you look at science article being published, you will get 10 people involved in the project. The articles, there will be 10 people involved in the entire assessment. And in social sciences, we find 1 or 2, but of late I am finding more number of people being involved. Any output where hyper-authored are there is not considered. So redundant output. Now, Times Higher Education, their ranking is based on teaching, research environment, focus on reputation, income, productivity, quality, research quality in terms of citation, research strength, research excellence, influence, industry and international outlook. Look at the top 10 universities in the world. Oxford is number 1, followed by many universities including Harvard and Stanford. And it is restricted only within UK and USA. In China, like you look at Asia top 10, we are seeing literally not much of change in that particular thing. Chinese, Singaporeans, Hong Kong, they are actually ruling. Now, in 2026 ranking, China leads the latest Times Higher Education. Tsinghua, as I shown you, is in top position. Peking comes second. Mainland China takes 5 of the top 10 spots, with Fudan and Xinjiang retaining top positions. Shanghai Jiatong is also moved to place 9. Rest of the 10 comprises 2 institutions, each from Singapore and Hong Kong, and 1 from Japan. So their ranking has not changed. Macau makes top 30. Malaysia is a standard performer. Their universities, including technology universities, are ranking very high. So about 929 universities are ranked from 36 countries, up from 853. Look at India. But one thing I tell you, in higher education, Times Higher Education, India is the most represented nation with 128 institutions ranked, followed by Japan with 115, Turkey with 109. What is essential? Look at our current situation. We have talked about Meru, but that has not actually gone in. Now, we are now having NEP done, 4-year honors degree. In fact, our university has launched the 1-year PGD. We have created research hubs, and we are creating the incubation cells through which we are creating patent centers. We are working very seriously on that. But look at the ranking as such. Many of the universities are finding it now. Many of the multidisciplinary institutes are actually growing. So India is overtaking China. So that's where the higher education makes a difference. Elsevier in their research, they have come out with certain ideas. They said advances in technology, funding pressure, political uncertainty, population shift. So how do you fund
Hello.
the future?
1 minute. Please continue, sir. I think someone.
So China is setting up funding. India should also move in that line. Now see, our research scholars who are actually researching, I will have to ask the question to the universities. This is what we are also trying to find seed money for the researchers. How many of the universities are able to fund 100% of the research scholars? This is a big question. There is no option because UGC gives SRF. So these people are eligible to get JRF, SRF. How many people actually qualify NET and they are undertaking research in cutting edge technologies? Are we actually supporting them? Are we having enough of research grant for universities? This is a big question we need to ask. So there are a lot of changes which are happening. Collaboration is needed. Big data is becoming an important thing. AI, machine learning becoming a major area of research. Blockchain has literally become a major area. AR and VR are developing. So you have to create an excellent research information system. ANRF is doing a good job. In fact, Sri Kalyan Raman, Dr. Kalyan Raman is doing a lot of work in terms of developing this ANRF. So a lot of courses will change. I strongly believe that over a period of time, 1-year PG or 2-year PG will not be there. I feel at the end of another 5 years down the line, most of the students who want to undertake research will go for a 4-year research and they qualify for the PhD. They will not take PhD. They will not go for PG. So the PGs will literally go. That is what I say. So there are multiple scenarios Elsevier has given. One is brave open world. Second is tech titans. Third is Eastern ascendance, like what we are talking from the Chinese perspective. Look at here. This is how the research will focus, whether it is converged, coherent, or are we looking at fragmented research. So what are the possible prospects? You need to have collaboration beyond academic situations. And you have to work with government policymakers. Use digital tools. Use open research practices. And skill sets are fundamental and foundation. So the innovation is critical to create entrepreneurial culture. And the research is a tool that supports evidence-based decisions. So we need to promote that very seriously. It should empower individual groups, advance our understanding of cultures and social relations. Look at 0.4% of the people in our country do research. 0.4%. And those 0.4% we are not able to support them is not right. At every possible areas wherever I am involved, Professor Vikash Jain also does it, where we are going ahead, we are asking the government to provide more grants so that the researchers can actually come with patents, meaningful exercises. So there are multiple facets where we can do it. I'm concluding my presentation. Number of projects they can undertake, collaborative researches they can do, industry inputs in curriculum can be taken up. Now, facility sharing for research and studies can be undertaken. Industry adjunct professors, as now it is already there, professor of practice has come into play. Case writing has to be part of it. And competence and interface component has to be promoted. This is where I'm saying innovation can happen only when we are looking at the feasibility, desirability, and viability. And if it has to happen, the research has to be given more focus. Best universities in India in terms of US unicorn founders, number of universities have come up. I am a product of which Pilani. I follow up with this particular alma mater, and I understand huge number of people have jumped into startups and becoming unicorns. 454 is the number. So let us become a creator in the world of erasers. Thank you very much for your very patient hearing. If there are questions, I am willing to take up the questions.
Yes. So, Sonali ji, please open the session.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. That was an eye-opening session for all the Indian research scholars here. Thank you very much on behalf of Indian Research Scholars Association. I now invite participants to pose their questions. They can either type in the chat box or they can raise their hand and ask their question to the speaker.
Vikash, can I ask?
Yeah. Please, madam.
Please, madam, go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
So, good evening. And your lecture was awesome. It was excellent. And, being a faculty from JNU and being a faculty from School of International Studies, actually, I got to know a lot more because we keep doing MOUs also within, from university to university. And we are also looking at the influx of international universities,
Correct.
Coming over here. And since I myself have worked as a assistant lecturer assistant professor in Malaysia, in University of Uttara Malaysia for 5 years, so
Yes.
I know, how it impacts. Yeah. I was quite interested because when you just mentioned in the last, when you are just going to end your session, you mentioned that, maybe in coming 5 years or maybe in 5 years or 10 years down the line, we are going to see no more PG. We are going to have like students being focused in research for 4 years and then directly going for PhD. So, in a sense, I feel that it is very good. I mean, it's going to be a very good step because I myself is witnessing, we used to have MPhil, MPhil and PhD. And now MPhil is scrapped. So when students are coming from MA to PhD, so the transition seems to be very difficult. So for them, till MA, they just, they really don't know, how to do research. And straight away after jumping from masters, they appear for interviews and then just, really knowing Russia from research point of view is really difficult for these MA students. So I really welcome this, that, students come, they work for 4 years, they study for 4 years, and they develop their research bent of mind, and then they go for PhD. So I appreciate this. But only my point is that, for example, I am from economics. Okay. And since my master's is in economics, and now since my MPhil and PhD was on Russian economy, so I teach in the Center for Russian and Central Asian Studies. So don't you think then that, at that particular time, like now we are teaching several courses, so far as for masters and also for, PhD. Don't you think then, when the students are going to study for research in BA and then they directly come for PhD, so then there is a reduction in the faculty induction? I mean, this is just out of query that there will be reduction in the faculty. And another question, this is just a, interaction. It's not a question, because your presentation was fantastic. Second part was that, as an economist, I want to prepare a course on circular economy. I want to prepare, and I really want that, it is very important that we need to actually get engaged in various other dynamics of economics, not only production and consumption and distribution. We should also understand how we create wealth out of waste, so that we can, inculcate our, generations how to look at the other side also. I mean, you can say the demerits of production, or the demerits of consumption. So basically these were, otherwise, it was
Guides to go